Hello students, we have already completed the plant tissues. In this video, we will start with the different types of animal tissues. We all know that animal tissues are different from the plant tissues. Why? Because animals move around in search of food and their most tissues are living, and the structural organization of organs and organ system is far more specialized than plants. So, four types of animal tissues we will learn in this video or in this chapter, that is epithelial, connective, muscular and nervous tissue. First one, the epithelial tissue. As the name indicates, epithelial means the tissue which forms the covering of the external surface or the internal cavities or the organ of the animal body. And what is the function of epithelial tissue? It covers most of the organ and body cavities which are present inside the body. And if it is forming the layer on the organ, it means it forms a barrier to keep the different body systems separate. And it also helps in the permeability of the cells, and it play an important role in regulating the exchange of materials between the body and the external environment. So first of all, we will start with the types of epithelial tissue, and the first epithelial tissue which we are going to study today is the squamous tissue. Now we will discuss the types of epithelial tissue. The first one is simple squamous epithelium. They are present in the lining of blood vessels or the lung alveoli. And you can see these are the sites where the exchange of materials takes place. This is a very simple, flat and extremely thin kind of epithelium, and this is named as squamous epithelium. It is found in the lining of mouth, esophagus, lung, alveoli. So now we will discuss about the stratified squamous epithelium. Our skin is made up of squamous epithelium, but when we talk about our skin, it is made up of so many layers. It means some strata are present. It means it is made up of stratified squamous epithelium. And what is why the so many layers are present? So that it will give protection to our inner organ or the inner part. Now coming to the third, that is cuboidal epithelium. It means the cells are cuboidal in shape and they are present in the duct of salivary gland and kidney tubules. In some cases, this portion of epithelial tissue, they fold inward and they form a multicellular gland. And this, when the gland is formed, that is called glandular epithelium. And the best example is our sweat gland and tear gland. And what is its function? Secretion and absorption. Now comes the columnar epithelial tissue. This is cylindrical, the cells are cylindrical in shape. They are present in the inner lining of stomach and intestine, and the main function is absorption and secretion. Now students, we are coming to the next type of tissue, that is connective tissue. As the name indicates, connective means to connect something. If you want to connect something, these tissues are loosely packed and they are embedded in an intercellular matrix. Now we are coming to the types of connective tissue. The first one is blood. Blood is a fluid connective tissue and it is composed of plasma. What is plasma? Plasma is a fluid matrix containing protein, salts and hormone. It transports carbon dioxide, nutrients, waste and hormones. Then the second part of the blood is corpuscles, and these corpuscles are made up of RBC, WBC and platelets. The RBC gives red color to the blood due to the presence of a pigment called hemoglobin, and it helps in the transportation of oxygen. WBC, that is irregular shaped structure and can move like amoeba, and it is a colorless thing, and this helps in the protection of the body. It means it helps in phagocytosis, it engulfs pathogens and they produce antibodies also. Now the platelets, it helps in blood clotting. Now, the second thing is bones. Bone is also a type of connective tissue, and this bone is very hard and brittle, strong, and not flexible. And the matrix compound of bone is calcium and phosphorus. Then comes ligament. And if you talk about ligament, ligament connects bone with bone and it is very elastic in nature. Now the fourth tissue is tendon. These tendon connects bone with muscles and they are very strong but has limited flexibility. Then comes cartilage. Cartilage is also a type of connective tissue which has widely spaced cell. The solid matrix of this tissue is composed of proteins and sugar. Then comes areolar tissue. Areolar tissue are found between the skin and muscle around blood vessel and bone marrow, and their function is to support internal organ, fills space inside organ and helps in repair of tissues. Then comes adipose tissue. Adipose tissue is found in deeper parts of the skin, and what is its main function? Its main function is to store the fat, and fat as act as an insulator. Now coming to the muscular tissue. This muscular tissue is made up of elongated cell that is called muscle fiber, and this is responsible for the movement of our body. This muscle contain a special type of proteins that is called contractile proteins, which help in the contraction and relaxation of the muscles, which help in the movement. So this muscular tissue provide movement to the body. The type of muscular tissue, the first type which we are going to study right now, that is striated muscle or the skeletal muscle or voluntary muscle. So, as the name indicate, it means they are the voluntary muscles, it means which we can move according to our will. These muscles are long and cylindrical and are multinucleated. The dark and light stripe or bands are present in it, and they are present in the muscles of hand and neck. Now, coming to the next muscle, that is smooth muscle. The another name for it is involuntary muscles or unstraighted muscles. They are found in the iris of the eye, in the ureter, and in the bronchi of the lungs. They are long and spindle shaped, unbranched, and uninucleated, and no stripes are present in it. And the most important thing is they are involuntary, means we can't move them according to our will. And now coming to the next muscle, that is cardiac muscles or involuntary muscles. Whenever the word cardiac comes, it means the muscle which is related to the heart. They are cylindrical, branched and uninucleated. They are also unstriped muscles and involuntary in action, and the example is our heart. So now we are starting with the nervous tissue. The cells of the nervous tissue are very specialized one because they capture the stimuli and then it transmit that stimuli from one place to another or to our brain or the spinal cord, and then in response and in against of that stimuli our brain or spinal cord will give the response, and according to that our body do the action. And this is made up of nerve cells called neuron. The brain, the spinal cord and the nerves, they all make a nervous tissue. They all are composed of this nervous tissue. And this neuron is basically made up of cell body, the upper part, axon and dendrite. This dendrites, this is, you can see the dendrites are present on the side of the cell body, and this helps in capturing the this stimuli, and they get it from the previous one neuron, and they get the when the impulse comes to the dendrite, it get converted into in the form of electrical impulse. It will pass on through the neuron body, it will reach to the nerve ending, where again a gap will be present between the two neuron, and that gap is filled with a liquid called neurotransmitter, and this electrical impulse get converted into chemical impulse, and when this chemical impulse passes through that gap, again when it reaches to the next neuron, again that chemical impulse get converted into electrical impulse. So the impulse is travel through this neuron body in the form of electrical impulse. Thank you, students.